Taylor Swift did not arrive to the Chiefs game like this because she's pregnant, because she is featuring a new look for the life of a showgirl and she doesn't want us to see it. She's doing this for her own safety.
The bulletproof screen rattles me. It makes me really sad.
You saw the clip, right? A tall black partition rolling through the bowels of a football stadium. Security moving with choreography. Crowds guessing who's behind it. That 60-second moment launched 1,000 theories about Taylor Swift and a supposed bullet-resistant moving wall. Some people swore it was proof of a secret message. Others said it was just smart safety. What makes it fascinating isn't the gadget itself. It's how quickly a brief hallway shot turned into a story about fame, risk, and the strange way stadium tunnels can feel louder than the field.
Break it to you all. Taylor Swift arriving behind this wall for the Chiefs game is in fact not an Easter egg. It's literally just for safety. Like this wall her and her whole family ride behind is apparently bulletproof. So no Easter eggs here, just safety measures.
The simplest read is often the truest. When you're as famous as Taylor, your team trims exposure time. A hallway becomes a gauntlet of phones. A camera at the wrong angle becomes tomorrow's headline. A partition buys 30 seconds of privacy and prevents a crowd surge in a narrow space. Is it bullet resistant? That part's speculation. Is it practical? Absolutely. Think logistics, not lore. The wall isn't a prop for an album clue. It's an umbrella in a storm. Boring until you need it, necessary when you do.
This is really sad and scary, but it's unfortunately the world that we live in right now, and she's having to take these kind of safety precautions just to go support her fiance.
There's also history you can't ignore. High-profile shows have dealt with threats, hoaxes, and genuine scares. When something serious happens anywhere on tour, it rewires everyone's instincts. Artists, managers, venue staff. You start playing defense in places you never used to think about. Loading docks, service corridors, elevator banks. So if the stadium tunnel playbook now includes a rolling screen that isn't theatrical, it's risk reduction. And it says a lot about how modern celebrity isn't just cameras and cheers. It's also calculating angles, distances, and time to cover.
I was happy this morning. I was like, good, she didn't want to be seen, she wasn't seen. And then I saw it as a bulletproof screen. And if that's true and that really tracks, I hate it.
But there's another reason that hallway moment lit up the internet. Narrative vacuum. When fans don't get a sweet reaction shot, they write their own plot. Pregnant? Hiding a look? Easter egg for a surprise track? The human brain hates blank spaces. We'd rather fill them, fast. What gets lost in the rush is the everyday truth that most megastars now travel with modular privacy. You've seen umbrellas, decoy vans, and cloak and dash maneuvers. A screen on wheels is just the 2025 version of the black SUV window tint. Meanwhile, off the field, another storyline kept trying to pull Taylor into the frame. The legal fight connected to the film It Ends With Us. On one side, Blake Lively. On the other, Justin Baldoni. Allegations, denials, filings, counters, headlines. Exactly the sort of case that multiplies takes because the main characters are famous and the stakes sound huge. Her name surfaced as a potential witness because proximity equals curiosity. If you stand near the spotlight tries to claim you. Taylor's camp pushed back with a steady posture. No material role, no need to be dragged into a deposition. That stance matters. The law isn't a gossip column. Judges want specifics, relevance, diligence, timeline. Courts are allergic to fishing expeditions dressed up as discovery. And that's why the procedural skirmishes around any celebrity deposition are never just about scheduling. They're about whether someone is being used as a headline accelerant rather than an actual fact witness.
And sadly, what we're seeing here is probably an indication that we're not going to see a lot of public appearances from Taylor, including a Super Bowl performance or even a tour or a show.
For viewers at home, the legal back and forth can blur. One headline shouts, subpoena. Another whispers, withdrawn. A third insists a new window is opening. The important filter is this: what advances the case versus what inflames the discourse. If testimony would add real facts, courts tend to find a way. If it's performative, the system has 1,000 ways to shut the door. And the more famous the proposed witness, the more likely that door gets checked for motive. Stack both stories, the wall in the courtroom, and you get the same theme. Boundary setting. At a stadium, it's physical. In filings, it's procedural. One uses wheels and elbows, the other uses letters and deadlines. Both are attempts to say, this far, not further, in worlds where attention never sleeps. Being a megastar means treating privacy like a series of checkpoints. Some you glide through, some you defend, some you rebuild, after someone moves the goalposts. Let's humanize it for a second. Most people go to a football game to exhale. She goes to execute. Park at this gate, move at this time, pivot on this mark, don't stop for that camera. If a rolling partition buys a minute of normal, mother next to daughter, laughter without lenses, then it isn't paranoia, it's care, and it adds up. A minute taken here, 40 seconds saved there, a dozen micro-choices that keep the day quiet instead of chaotic. The courtroom saga will keep simmering because it has all the ingredients: stars, money, workplace claims, and creative control. But the likely path forward is less cinematic than social media wants. Motions, exhibits, depositions of the people who signed checks and approved scenes, quiet negotiations that explode into loud press releases. And then, if nothing gives, a trial window on the calendar where testimony tightens narratives or tears them apart.
I don't think she's hiding anything. I don't think this is an Easter egg. I think this is just the world that we live in now.
Let's humanize it for a second. Most people go to a football game to exhale. She goes to execute. Park at this gate, move at this time, pivot on this mark, don't stop for that camera. If a rolling partition buys a minute of normal, mother next to daughter, laughter without lenses, then it isn't paranoia, it's care, and it adds up. A minute taken here, 40 seconds saved there, a dozen micro-choices that keep the day quiet instead of chaotic. The courtroom saga will keep simmering because it has all the ingredients: stars, money, workplace claims, and creative control. But the likely path forward is less cinematic than social media wants. Motions, exhibits, depositions of the people who signed checks and approved scenes, quiet negotiations that explode into loud press releases. And then, if nothing gives, a trial window on the calendar where testimony tightens narratives or tears them apart. Notice how the public keeps trying to stitch these stories together as if the tunnel footage proves something about the legal case, or the legal case explains the tunnel footage. It doesn't. They're parallel lines. The overlap is simply the gravity of one name. That gravity bends everything: camera angles, court filings, timelines, even the way a hallway looks when a black wall rolls by. The trick, as a viewer, is to separate signal from shine. There's a media literacy lesson tucked inside all this. When you see reportedly, treat it as a yellow light. When you hear sources say, watch for who benefits. When an outlet spends 90% on the celebrity and 10% on the substance, they're selling sizzle, not steak. And when a judge pushes back on timing or relevance, that's the system calling out stagecraft. Boring? Maybe. But boredom is where real answers hide. What about the music, the relationship, the schedule? Those will always color the commentary because fans emotionally invest in artists like friends. But none of that changes the rules of movement or the rules of court. Stadiums still require plans. Depositions still require justification. The online chatter will keep chasing hints. The real world will keep preferring checklists. And every so often, a fleeting clip will escape the tunnel and remind us how large the gap is between spectacle and safety. If you're looking for the cleanest takeaway, try this. The rolling wall isn't a plot twist, it's a tool. The deposition tug-of-war isn't a scandal, it's a filter. Both are designed to keep chaos from writing the story. And if there's a pattern in Taylor's recent headlines, it's that she's choosing the unglamorous moves that pay off later. Fewer open corridors, fewer open questions, fewer chances for a rumor to become a reality just because no one blocked the door. So the next time a hallway clip blows up your feed, ask 2 questions. First, what does this change for the person living it? Today, tonight, the next game, the next show? Second, who gains from turning a safety tactic into a mystery box? The answers are usually obvious once you strip away the sparkle. Fame scales everything: wonder, worry, noise. The goal, if you're the one inside the screen, is to scale the quiet just enough to hear yourself think. If you enjoyed this deep dive, tap like, drop a comment with your take, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown.